Did you ever wonder what it will be like to take down the Witherstorm from Minecraft Story Mode? Well, with Cracker's Witherstorm mod, you can. You can defeat this monstrosity like you would in Minecraft Story Mode by entering it and destroying the command block. Sounds fun, right? Well, it is tough considering the size and the destruction it can cause. How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to a new showcase. Today we are looking at Cracker's Witherstorm, which is a mod that brings in the Witherstorm from Minecraft Story Mode into your Minecraft world. It is highly recommended that you spawn this in a new world, otherwise your beloved world that you spent hours and hours on could turn into this in a matter of minutes. There are 7 phases to the storm, which is what I'll go through today, as well as other things like the disease, items, and more. Thank you to all of you who have suggested this mod for me to showcase, so without further ado, let's get into it. To start off with, you will need to summon the Witherstorm, and this can be done by going to the rundown looking house at the coordinates x0 and z0. There will be a misplaced Wither skeleton skull next to the sculpture that looks familiar to as if you were spawning the Wither on top of the house. If you put the misplaced skull on top of the command block, you would have successfully spawned the Witherstorm at phase 0. You have around 50 seconds to get out of the area and start preparing to defeat the blasted thing. Once you have run away, gather as good resources as possible because this isn't going to be easy. Keep in mind that this thing can start to chase you at any point. It does depend on how much you stay in one area for, or how much you are moving. The first phase of the Witherstorm isn't too hard, as they are pretty much a Wither, but with a command block, and will suck up the occasional block. Don't think that it's easy though, because it still does some serious damage. As it's the first phase, it's not something that can deal too much damage to your world straight away. Take this time to regroup, if you're playing with friends, start collecting resources and food to help you in the long run. Yes, the Witherstorm does get a bit bigger and a bit freakier, but its damage is minimal compared to what is coming up. By the end of this phase, you should hopefully have some sort of food source, some iron tools, and armor, and be getting ready to prepare yourself for the Witherstorm. Phase 3 is slightly harder than the first 2 phases, as the Witherstorm now has an eye to directly consume anything it looks at, including you. By now, you should hopefully have some decent gear, but the most useful tool you can have is a shield. This is because when you use it close to the Witherstorm, it won't detect you. This makes it so much easier to get around or away from the Witherstorm if it starts getting a bit too close for comfort. Use as many distractions as possible like fireworks or TNT so you can have that bit of extra time to prepare yourself to get better gear. The Witherstorm can get distracted quite easily, but don't depend on it in case it doesn't happen. The further away the storm is, the most likely it won't get distracted. If you are worried that it will catch up to you, get a horse or some other source of transport to help you get away. Okay, now we are getting into the dangerous stage of the Witherstorm, and this is phase 4. It has grown quite a bit when you first spawned it in, and it now has many long tentacles from when it didn't when you first spawned it in. This phase is difficult because the Witherstorm will consume much larger chunks in one from your world. You will need to put your shield blocking to good use here because it may be the tool that saves you from being consumed by the monstrosity. By now you should have a good amount of food, protection, and if you are that quick, some diamond gear to help protect you from what is to come. Invisibility potions are also great for becoming undetectable by the Witherstorm, so make sure to brew some if you can. Phase 5 is now upon you, and the Witherstorm has started to grow uncontrollably. It now has 3 heads, a massive body, many tentacles, and you think it can't get much worse. The Witherstorm has become extremely powerful and can suck in a lot of blocks and mobs at a time. There isn't much you can do at this moment, but run, because you still won't be able to deal any sort of damage to it. If you do get spotted by one of its eyes, then you can attempt to shoot it to drop you. If you don't have any projectiles, hit it with the most powerful weapon you have. If you do this, make sure to have something to cushion your fall, as you can see how big and high it is in the sky. Now you can see it has reached its maximum size with a massive body. You will need to create the Withered bomb to destroy it. That's right, your weapons won't do anything to its shell, so to kill it, you will need to create something that nothing can survive. The Withered bomb is created from 4 blaze powder, 4 gunpowder, and a super TNT. The super TNT is made up of 4 TNT, 4 gunpowder, and an enchanted command block book. The enchanted command block book is actually dropped from a mob called the Withered Symbiont. This disgusting creature is spawned from the command block itself. Be patient as it can take a while to spawn. We'll go into the Withered Symbiont a little bit later, but note that it's tough to take down. Once you have the Withered bomb crafted, you will need to place it beneath the Witherstorm and ignite it. If you haven't started running yet, then you better get a move on, as this explosion will be one of the biggest you'll see. Your screen will start to distort slightly. This means that it's worked, and soon the Withered bomb will explode. Once it has exploded, you will be blinded and a high-pitched noise, as if you've been deafened slightly, will occur. Once you are able to see and hear again, you should be able to see the Witherstorm falling from the sky and pummel to the ground. You have now killed the Witherstorm. Or so you think. In the remains of the Wither Storm, you will see that there is a command block surrounded by bones. When you get close to the command block, it may look like it's not working, which is great. It is actually fully working, because when you try to get close to it, it will suck you in, and if you don't manage to get out, you will instantly die. The Wither Storm has been resurrected, and you'll now have to kill it yourself, without the help of a massive monster killing bomb. Over time, the Wither Storm will produce 2 more heads on each body, bringing it to a total of 9 heads. The parts of the body which look to be torn from each other has also healed up. More is to come because soon, a pretty obvious hole will appear above the middle head. I will warn you that this can take a long time. It took me way over an hour and a half. More symbionts should still appear, and you will unfortunately need to kill this again. When you gain another enchanted command block book, you will need to craft a command block tool, as it will be used to attack the Wither Storm. Now, this may sound insane, but you do have to physically enter the Wither Storm through the hole above its head if you wish to attack it. The easiest way to do this is actually to get risen up by one of its eyes, so you can get the best shot at entering it. You will need an enderpearl and a crossbow to shoot the enderpearl in there, otherwise there isn't much else you can do. Once you have entered the Wither Storm, it will be time to end its reign of power and destruction. Make your way through to its core, and you will soon see the command block in the middle surrounded by tentacles. Make sure you do prepare, as what is coming up is difficult. You don't need to rush, as nothing will happen until you make your way to the middle and hit the command block with the tool. Once you are prepared, make your way into the middle platform and hit the command block with the command tool. As soon as you do, jump off of the platform on the surrounding area, otherwise you will get pushed off. A ton of sickened monsters will start to spawn, so you will need to kill them off before you can attack the command block again. The second time you hit the command block, more sickened mobs will spawn, as well as the Wither Symbiont, which you will need to eliminate. The tentacles in the surrounding area can now grab you as well, so try to avoid these if possible. Once the coast is clear, you can now hit the command block for a 3rd time. The 3rd time the command block is struck, the same events will happen as when you hit it before. However, the eyes of the heads of the Wither Storm in the corners will awaken and pull you in to bite you and damage you. The mobs are much more stronger now, so you will need to put on your best fight. Note that you do have to damage both of the eyes before you can make your final hit against the command block. The 4th and final hit will destroy the command block and the Wither Storm with it. You will be teleported outside of the Wither Storm. You can now watch as the Wither Storm disintegrates and perishes. Congratulations, as you have now defeated the Wither Storm. You will gain the Withered Nether Star as a reward for killing the Wither Storm. As I have mentioned, you will come across a new mob called the Wither Symbiont, which will have its own boss health bar. This is quite difficult to kill, but you are required to kill it more than once if you wish to kill the Wither Storm. The Wither Symbiont can spawn in and after phase 4, so be prepared. To make things a bit more possible, the Wither Storm should ignore you whilst you are fighting the Wither Symbiont, but the fight won't be easy as you can only damage it from its back. It has 7 different attacks. Evoker Fangs is a spell that pretty much copies the Evoker Fangs spell, whereby a line of fangs will rise from the ground and damage you. Shulker Bullets is the second attack, where the Wither Symbiont will summon a few homing Shulker Bullets that target you and damage as well as levitate you. Arrows is an ability where the Symbiont will summon arrows above their head and shoot them at the player. Smash is an attack where the Symbiont will jump and smash down onto the player, which will do explosive damage. It is imperative to have a shield for this, as it can reduce the damage you take. Fireball is an ability where fireballs will start to orbit the Wither Symbiont, and after a few seconds, it will fire them at you. If you do hit them back, they won't do any damage towards the Symbiont. Wither Skulls is another ability whereby the Wither Symbiont will shoot Wither Skulls at you, and will damage you if you are hit. The final ability is Pull, and, as the name suggests, the Wither Symbiont will pull you in towards it. It will start to summon sickened mobs that will target and attack you. During this, the Wither Symbiont can show in a weakened state, and it will be vulnerable to damage. Whilst it is in its weakened state, it cannot attack, so do as much damage as you can. It's good to note that once it does reach half health, the fight can become more intense with more sickened mobs spawning, as well as them being equipped with armor. The Withered Symbiont will also attack much faster, although its attacks won't be any stronger. Once you do kill this, it will drop the command block book, which is used to create the Super TNT or command block tools. So, I would like to explain a certain effect that can be applied to you when you are fighting the Wither Storm. This would be the Wither Sickness. This effect can greatly reduce a player or mob's maximum health and damage them over time, as well as cover them in a purple pattern. This effect will last until you die, of which is a slow process. This is actually a good thing, because it gives you more time to craft something to cure it, called a golden apple stew. This will provide you with regeneration and resistance for a short time, and this can also be given to other mobs. You will still have the Wither Sickness, but it should go over time. Players are more resistant to Wither Sickness, so make sure your mobs are kept safe from the disease. An amulet may be something useful to create in the first couple of phases of the Witherstorm, as it can tell you how close or far away the Witherstorm is to you. This helps so much when you are underground gathering materials, because you don't want to suddenly pop up onto the surface just to be sucked in and killed by the Witherstorm. A dark blue shine can appear when you hold the amulet, and the brightest the amulet glows will show the direction it is in. If you hold shift, you can spin the amulet, and then if you interact with a mob, it will be linked to that colour. If you hover over the amulet in your inventory, it shows how far away the mob is, and again, the brightest the amulet glows will show which direction it is in from your location. You can do this for 4 different colours. Once the Witherstorm has been defeated, it will drop the Withered Nether Star, which is used to create a Withered Beacon. The beacon's power can be increased to a maximum of 4 layers by building a pyramid with the top layer being made out of lapis lazuli blocks. Unlike normal beacons, the Withered Beacon doesn't require you to give an extra item to activate it, and the effect you choose will be given to the players within a 128 block radius. Support beacons are another type of block that can be created, but this time with a Nether Star. These can be connected to the Withered Beacon to give off extra effects and make them so that it has an infinite distance. All you need to do is create a platform made out of redstone, gold, iron, or diamond, like so, and place the support beacon on top of it. You won't need to build a pyramid structure as the Withered Beacon, as it shares the same beacon level. I believe that is it, so thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. This mod is extremely impressive and makes for great challenge videos. I did make this in 1.18.2, as a lot of things aren't obtainable in the more later versions, in my experience, like the beacons, support beacons, amulets, and a couple more things. Make sure to check this mod out in the description below. I hope you have a great day, and I'll catch you all in the next video.